That was the beauty about. She never stopped laughing. She was never sad. In fact, we kept on saying, America mizigo chini. Not thinking, she's just enjoying herself.
Yeah.
She's enjoying the journey. So that was her. So now when she couldn't eat, what we would do for her as a family, we would take her to hospital. Big mistake. Things that one fails in dementia, your language is limited. You lose your ability to express yourself. So you can't even express yourself. I don't want to go to hospital. But you
So
find
they
yourself,
get frustrated.
you get frustrated. And that's why sometimes they become violent.
Yeah.
And they hit the people who are caring for them.
Neno unasikia huyu anachapa watu, mwenda wazimu.
Yeah, mama amekuwa mwandazimu. Baba amekuwa mwandazimu. Siku hizi si kama vile alikuwa. Hormonal that makes people get dementia, prone to dementia more than men. And more so, women will live longer than men. Like, yeah, we live longer than men. So if you are there and you're in your 70, 80, and your husband died at 50, most likely you'll be
Maybe they can catch up with you in your 80s.
Yeah, in your 80s.
Yeah.
So you find the number, there are more women than men who struggle.
Disease is increasing, or it's the same, or how is it now?
Yeah, it's increasing. Globally, there's this slogan saying, tick, tick, tick. Every 3 seconds, somebody in the dementia, somebody is being diagnosed with dementia. Every 3 seconds.
Hello viewers and welcome to Lucy Moria Network and also the Kenya Pro-Aging Organization. And today we are working in collaboration with Women for Dementia Africa. And I am visiting one Monica Kenyajui, a great caregiver. She is the CEO, founder, Women for Dementia Africa, and she was among the first people to support the dementia support groups in Nairobi. She has a story to tell. Like I said, we are here to teach, to educate and give information to Kenyans about what goes along with aging a lot of times, although not all the times. And today we are going to discuss or talk about a rare monster called dementia. That is the degeneration of the brain. Monica has wealth of information, first-hand information. She has experienced, she has seen it, she has worked on it. She is a serious caregiver. She has traveled around the world seeking for knowledge to support her loved ones. And now, let us listen to Monica. Monica, how are you today?
I'm fine, thank you.
Yeah, we've come to your home to visit. Thank you for the invitation, Monica, and congratulations for the work you've done on all the care you have given to your family members that you're about to tell us on dementia. And maybe viewers, if you have not seen Monica, she'll be able to tell who she is by herself. Monica, introduce yourself, tell viewers who you are, and tell us about you.
First of all, I have to say thank you very much, Lucy, for inviting me to this show. I've been watching you online and looking forward for the day when I'll be sitting with you as we discuss different issues that affect the elderly. Yes, my name, as you say, is Monica Kenyajui. I'm the founders. I think I'm a mother, I'm a wife, and the CEO for this organization at Women for Dementia Africa, which I began 2019.
Monica, I've seen you working, I've seen you talk a lot and very affectionately about dementia. What really motivated you to even think of getting started to start an organization specifically on dementia?
Yeah, as you correctly called it, monster. I've been affected by dementia for over 20 years. First of all, it began with my mother, and not my biological mother, my mother-in-law, who started showing signs of dementia. And those days I couldn't understand what it was. And I felt stranded. I felt, who has she, and who has she become? My mother-in-law was my friend. I mean, many people struggle with their mother-in-law. My mother-in-law was a lady from hell. I mean, she was a mother-in-law not from hell, but from heaven. She embraced me as a daughter, and she loved me and understood I was not ready to do work from 8 to 5 because of, I think maybe because of my personality nowadays, I think I understand what it is. So she embraced me and told me, instead of staying home in the house, come and we do business together. So I would go
Oh,
to her
when
shop.
you just got married?
When I got married.
Wow.
Like 2 years before,
After.
maybe 4 years after some experience of help with the house help, living children, and I just realized I'm not cut to do 8 to 5, and she understood and she embraced me. And she had told me, because you are done with housework and done with all the things and you've dropped your child to school, why don't you come to my office? You'll become foolish, we stay at home. So we became friends. We liked each other. Mom started showing some, she kept on saying, we would meet people in the streets of her, where she had the shop. And she would say, and the person would say hi to her, oh, how are you? Then there was a time when we move a few steps, she says, I don't even remember who that is. Then we just laugh over it. And those days, Mom was like she was like in her early 60s. And we just laugh over it. And then said, oh, okay. And then one time she just said, oh, actually, I begin forgetting a lot. I began forgetting a lot. Yesterday I forgot where I'd parked the car. And we just laugh. But now it became so serious. One time she forgot and she ended up coming home with a taxi. That was them.
She leaves the car at the parking lot in Nairobi.
And forgets where she parked it. So now the time that we realized this is more than forgetting. And remember those days, we're talking about 202. Those days there was no information about dementia. All you can see, Mom is no longer the person who she was before. She's pulled back, she's withdrawn. Even she then got to many activities that she used to do. And she's kind of taken a back seat. And I would wonder, the only thing she kept, and she was very adamant, was her regime of going to the gym. So such small things made me realize, oh, Mom is not the same. Then when she could come now, even it became so bad she couldn't drive, she would go to the gym and forget where the clothes she came with. So the driver would have to be called by the receptionist. Oh, Mom is, Ula Mama, your mom is, Ula Mama Ulete, she can't remember what she came with. So everybody in the gym is told, get into the bathroom, cover yourselves. A man is coming in so she can identify. Those days there were no phones that you could take a picture and show this is your clothes. So they would come and then they show, oh, this is the clothes she came with. So I remember that driver would remember, today I have to mark what she came with. So when I'm wondering, what is this?
And you're saying this is at age early 60s?
You know, maybe mid-60s. We're talking about mid-60s now. It's progressive, as we were saying. Things keep changing. She withdrawn.
But it started like at age 60.
Early, maybe early 60s, she would just withdraw and everything. She would start withdrawing from her people. And but she was committed to her business. But not, she had managers. So it's a place to go in the morning and come back in the evening. And along the way, she would maybe, if I'm there, we'd just meet. Because as I said, she embraced me. So Mom when now it progressed so much, and now I'm wondering, I can't even, my reaction to her was, let me just keep off.
Did you think it was sickness at that point?
We didn't know it was a sickness.
So at this point, at what point now it is progressing, the forgetfulness and things are getting worse? At what point did you know as a family it was a problem?
Fortunately, because of information, she was now, her husband sat us down and told us as a family, the reason why Mom has been forgetting and all these things you're seeing is because she's struggling with a disease that is terminal, and that's called Alzheimer's.
Was the husband a medical doctor?
No, she had just gotten information from her diagnosis. She had had some tests, she had had an MRI. So there was a diagnosis that was done. She was done those days. So we were told, I remember when he was breaking those news, I remember I was just crying. Because I was just saying, oh, terminal. I'm thinking of cancer.
Oh,
It's
Lord.
going to get worse. I didn't even know that it progresses. All I know, she will not. So they said we need to make some
We
steps.
thought like she was going to die the next
Yeah,
minute.
or not even die, because now it can be progressive, but I didn't know it was progressive, but we thought it was stamina. There's no healing. In all diseases, there's medicine.
Yeah.
Blood pressure, there's medicine. Cancer, there's medicine. Diabetes, there's medicine. Then you're being told this new name called Alzheimer's or whatever.
Alzheimer's.
Now, of course, now later on, I discovered it's Alzheimer's. So now I'm wondering, oh, I was so broken. Then shortly after that, but the beauty about it, her husband never left her side. He made sure she never missed things. She would go with her for funerals, he would go with her for weddings. Much as she was not,
Remembering.
her cognitive was not there. Her behavior is kind of like changed, but he would not leave her behind. And then she had a team of her girlfriends from Alliance. They would make a date every month to come and pick her and take her for a meal, and then they bring her back. So her social life continued. For me, my reaction was, I don't know who this woman is. Yes, I love her, but I can't handle this new disease. So I kind of kept off. I never managed to visit her. Of course, the way she had stopped well before from working from the shop.
Okay, besides the husband telling you this is Alzheimer's disease as a family, did anyone get time to counsel you, to explain to you even what it was? Besides, you know, this is just a family member who is telling you is also heartbroken. Now, did you have anyone else, like a medical, like a counselor?
No. Did we even think we needed a counselor? We didn't even think we needed a counselor. We just say, no, we just have to brace ourselves with this new journey and see how to care for our mom. And then now, shortly after that, shortly after that, she stayed at home. She was not moving a lot. And the little things like she could, so for me, I kept off. I was in denial, I kept off. My reaction to the whole thing, I kept off. And then, around that time, she quickly developed into the point where she's not able to eat. And that's very common for people who are with Alzheimer's. You are not able to see this food needs to be left, to leave the plate and come into my mouth. So she would not eat because she cannot connect the food needs to come to her mouth or put a spoon. That is very common. So what we would do, that I remember was 2007.
That is 3 years down the line.
3 years down the line. We have been caring for her. We have had this schedule. Her girlfriends pick her once a month to hang out with her. We know mom is not the same, but she's there. And the joy about it, she used to laugh. She was full of laughter. That was the beauty about it. She never stopped laughing. She was never sad. In fact, we kept on saying, ameweka mizigo chini. No thinking, she's just enjoying herself.
Yeah.
She's enjoying the journey. So that was her. So now when she couldn't eat, what we would do for her as a family, we would take her to hospital. Big mistake. Admit her to hospital and help her because we are fearing that is the information now the primary caregiver would say. We are fearing she stops, she will go hungry, and me, I can't handle somebody not eating. She's not eating for 2 days. But if only we knew we had information, it's just a matter of assisting her in eating, reminding her this food needs to come from the plate to your mouth. So unfortunately,
So what most people out there are lacking is information.
most of the time we don't have information. There's no information out
Not
there.
most, all the time.
All the time there's no information out there about dementia. First of all, it shocks you. And then now even there's no information. Lucky now, there's the internet. There's a lot of information on the internet.
And those who have no internet to Google?
Those are not international.
And they are the majority?
The people this organization works for, which are the majority,
Yeah.
they have no idea. They try and explain it away by saying, you've been bewitched. Because if anything that you can't understand,
Yeah,
you just quickly
neurogi.
say, neurogi, or you become spiritual. You say,
Yeah.
she needs deliverance.
Yeah.
There is a curse in this family, you need to find out.
Ni
It
mashaitani.
is a disease, like any other disease, like diabetes, like blood pressure,
Like cancer.
and cancer, or kidney issues. Just a
yeah.
disease. The only thing that affects the brain. And anything brain, your behavior it's no longer the same. So mom, she couldn't eat, we'd take her to hospital. Big mistake. You go to hospital, this is a new location, a new environment. You even confuse your loved one more.
What does that mean?
You know, we advise.
Now that you know.
Now that I know, if somebody is living with dementia, do not remove them from the familiar surroundings to unfamiliar surrounding. People in Nairobi, people in the village, a son comes or a daughter goes home and finds their mama is not eating, is not doing very well. She's, of course, now maybe she has dementia. And then because you love your mother so much and your shags, 200 kilometers away, you say, let them bring them to Nairobi. And the person who arrives in Nairobi that night, the following day they are worse. They start doing things that you can't understand. First of all, they don't know the geography of your house. They are going to the bathroom. They'll mess up in your house. They start doing things that you can't understand.
Because they're in a foreign place.
Yeah, they don't know. People have this habit of taking their loved ones, and it's out of love. Because you want your person to be next to you. But don't remove them, because they want familiar place where they wake up, they can smell the air, they can hear their cows is in the farmland, they can smell the air of their home is different from the Nairobi one or the city one. The house, they know this is the bathroom, they know this is the kitchen, they kind of know the house. But when they come to your house, and especially for those who have been who have bigger houses, they get lost in the house.
So when you took her to the hospital and it was like, this is a foreign land,
yes,
and she became worse, and were the doctors able now to tell you, our doctors, our nurses here in Kenya, are they able to know what's going on?
No, unfortunately, no.
Are you
unfortunately,
serious?
It was very sad, because those days we admitted her. I remember helping in the admission in the morning. In the afternoon when I came to see her, she couldn't negotiate herself to enter her bed. A simple thing like climbing, getting to bed, you had to help her. Meaning she's so, the whole
confused.
She's so disoriented. The confusion is now maximum.
Not the body weakness,
yeah.
It is the mind which cannot
comprehend. And then
and even the people she's seeing, they are not familiar.
And because her diagnosis was she's not eating. She was not eating. So in fact, I remember those cards they put on the bed like this, not eating.
Nothing by mouth.
Yeah, no, she's not eating.
MPO, yes.
Make sure she eats. So we got we got these orderlies. The time the hospital had these orderlies where you'd hire. And now the orderly was advised, make sure she eats the food. So the orderly started feeding her by force feeding her. A mess. I remember coming to hospital and finding, and she's saying, I don't want. In fact, that time I remember, she was trying to watch something on TV.
You're distracting her.
You're distracting her. And it was when it was Wangari Maathai on TV. And she knew Wangari Maathai. She was saying, I want to watch my friend. Toka. And, you know now, in fact, they regress back to their vernacular.
Yeah.
I want to see my friend. So now I told her, no, you can't don't force feed her. If she didn't want to eat, don't force feed her. So that was in February 2007.
And that's a characteristics with people with Alzheimer's or dementia. Do not force them things.
Do not force them things. Just get into their reality. We always say get into their reality. If they say they don't want to, just respect. That's why even our organization, dignity preserved to the end. Treat them with dignity. At that particular time, they don't want to eat. At that particular time, they are saying they want to go home. And that is their home. Get into their reality. Don't tell them, oh, this is your home. Oh, this is your home. Where are you going? This is your home.
This is your room.
It's your room. This is your home, and this is your husband. Those things are not there. They don't have that memory. The memory, who is this person in the house? Get into their reality. If they are seeing the husband as somebody who is a stranger to them, and this man who comes to my house and I don't like him, go with that. Of course, the loved one, that's a husband, I always see when I go to the field, they're affected because their loved ones are not remembering. Their loved ones are not remembering, oh, this is my husband, my wife never recognizes me, or the wife didn't recognize the husband.
So at that time she was completely out. So when did she deteriorate completely?
Now,
what are the signs of total deterioration?
Now she came back, and we actually, those days she had been living without an assistant. We had to get a full-time assistant for her to live with her. And now, and she wasn't very
I'm sure even that assistant is not anyone who is trained to understand. It's just
somebody,
a normal house girl.
Just a normal house girl. Come and keep company to this lady. because, yeah, come and keep. And she didn't like it because she was a very independent woman. She didn't like it. And she was saying, no, I've never had a woman stay in my house. No, I don't like it. And she complained. So 3 months later, she regressed back not eating. She was readmitted. That was in May. When she came back from hospital, I remember May 3rd was her birthday. I came home and brought her flowers to wish her happy birthday. And she was saying, it's my birthday. I said, yeah, it's your birthday. And I don't remember what year she was turning. She was like maybe 69 or maybe almost 70.
Yeah.
So she said, oh, okay, it's my, oh, all right. Oh, but you know, of course, we're talking, oh, it's my birthday. The following day, we were walking up early in the morning. We have gone in an ambulance, we're heading to the hospital. This looks fatal. So
What is the diagnosis this time?
Heart attack.
Oh, Lord.
And a stroke. All massive.
Maybe dehydration because of not eating. And
no,
all
it was, yeah, maybe that, we don't know what it is. But I think it was also a lot of things that have been going on and she can't. Remember, one of the things that one fails in dementia, your language is limited. You lose your ability to express yourself. So you can't even express yourself. I don't want to go to hospital. But you find yourself.
Get frustrated.
You get frustrated. Yeah. And that's why sometimes they become violent.
Yeah.
And they hit the people who are caring for them.
Yaani unasikia huyu anachapa watu, mwenda wazimu.
Yeah, mama amekuwa mwandazimu. Baba amekuwa mwandazimu. Siku hizi si kama vile alikuwa. So those are the statements we hear when I got the field. So mom came back, we got a stroke, heart attack. She was in ICU for 3 months. That was May. She got in ICU, and then she was managed. No, was it in ICU? She was in ICU for 1 month. Then she went to the ward. Then we quickly realized we better just manage her at home. She was almost like assisted 100% care, oxygen, everything. We just made her one of the rooms become a hospital. And in September that year, 2007, mom rested.
Wow.
Mom rested. And it was very...
In your watch?
Yes.
Throughout you are by her side?
We watched her. We watched her. I never used to
leave her. And there's nothing you could do?
You could do. Now all you could do was hold her hands and explain you're here. I was expecting my last born child. And I'll tell her the baby is going to be born in 2 days, in a month's time.
She doesn't even understand.
Maybe she could hear, because there was some reaction where when you could feel she would hold your hand tighter. So I don't know if she would respond. We were being encouraged to speak to her. She was in a coma. So that was her. She rested. And then because of what motivated me to doing this, now because of
now she's gone. She's gone.
Now
you are left again.
Now because of that guilt of not serving mom, I say with the little information I have about dementia, let me join this up. Let me start support groups.
Wow.
We started support groups in Nairobi. Support groups in Nairobi.
The first support groups?
Yeah, in Nairobi. Support groups in Nairobi.
Now you have started understanding dementia.
I'm understanding, and support groups have their place. Everything has support group. HIV has support group. Cancer support group.
Wow.
So of course we realized we need a support group, not as people who live in, people as caregivers, as children who are affected. So we'd meet in houses, we'd meet in this house this month. It was a monthly. We'd meet on this month, we meet in so-and-so's house. This month we meet
so the so-and-so's that you are meeting in your support group, is it those people whose parents or their loved ones also have the same?
Yes, I know.
So you mean there are many?
Yeah. And that's those days you're hearing word of mouth, so-and-so's mom. And these are people we went to school with, kind of like in a social, we have a social, we kind of like know each other. We kind of like in the same space. So we hear so-and-so's mom has, or so-and-so's dad has. So we began. It was begun by a lady who passed on a few years ago. And she was called Mama Katanu. Her husband was living dementia. She was an American lady living dementia. Mom's husband was living dementia. She had cared for him till the last stage. So I joined that support group. And we took it on.
And through your experiences, Monica, and you saw both men and women, I have heard someone say it affects women more than men?
Oh, yes.
True?
Yes. As one of these days you're going to interview Wambui Karanja, and she's working in a program in Aga Khan Hospital, a research the university. There's there's something about women hormonal that makes people get dementia, prone to dementia more than men. And more so, women will live longer than men. Like, yeah, we live longer than men. So if you are there and you're in your 70, 80, and your husband died at 50, most likely you'll be
Maybe they can catch up with you in your 80s.
Yeah, in your 80s.
Yeah.
So you find the number, there are more women than men who struggle with dementia. And research has shown women struggle with dementia more than, especially Alzheimer's kind, more than men.
And now, because you took, like you've been even all over, you've been abroad, you've done different courses on this out of interest.
Yeah.
You are not even a medical anything, but you're trying to understand and know what dementia is.
Yes.
So
yes.
out of those experiences, yeah, what challenges do you think you meet as caregivers?
There are lots of challenges. First of all, even acceptance. You ask me whether you are cancelled. You don't get counselors to counsel you. This is somebody who was your mother, your father. You knew who they were. And then there's this behavior you can't understand.
They are not the same.
You need support. And then it's an expensive disease. Even these informal caregivers, they are very expensive. You ask them to come, it's not like the usual caregiving where, or to come and take care of a baby or something. It's very expensive. They'll ask for you for a outrageous amount. So you see some people end up opt to, one of them if they leave their jobs. If it's a wife, maybe she's retired, she'll be at home. If it's a daughter, and majority, as I was saying, it affects women as, dementia affects women more than men, even as caregivers. They form the biggest bulk of caregivers. You find it's daughters caring for their parents. You find it's unpaid. The paid one is women who do that job. So and
if you opt as a family member and you leave your job or whatever, because someone has to take care of this person anyway. So it means they forfeit their job and they do not have any pay.
They don't have any
income.
income.
So that is a challenge.
It's a challenge. And first of all, family members react in a different way. There are those who support you as you're caring for your loved one. You'll all become united. Like us, for us as a family, we are, by the grace of God, and God's blessing, we are so united on our dad's care, who I'll share later, who is now we are caring for. We work together as a family. But you find some people, all they do is just to send money to this one who is doing the care. And money is not enough.
Yeah.
Because you remember there's self-care for this person. It's a lot of emotional drain. And sometimes most of the time this person doesn't even remember who you are. They don't know who you are. So you are caring for somebody who doesn't even know you're his daughter, you're the daughter or the son.
And maybe now they reach a point, like you said, they can't swallow. They need special food.
They need special
food. I hear others they use diapers.
Yes. Then I was going on with the expenses. That was the caregiver. Now the caregiver, they are not the usual Tom, Dick and Harry. Even if they are a former house help and they are trained, they'll ask you for a lot of money. Some even ask outrageous. They ask for 50,000.
I was about to ask you, when you say they want a lot of money, how much is that?
50,000, and they're staying in the house and you're feeding them. They're earning more than even most graduates.
Even they earn more than you. If you are to hire one so that you can work, you would rather actually stay home yourself.
That is true. That is true. So then come forward, there's the food, special food. Then maybe as they progress on, you will need somebody like physiotherapists because they're not moving as much as they were moving. And this is, I'm talking about middle class and upper class.
These are those who can afford. And these are those who even understand what is a physiotherapy.
Yes.
Those who can understand what a diaper is.
Yes, a diaper is. Diapers are not cheap, of adult diapers. Last year, I think the VAT there was exemption. We tried to follow it up. It did not appear on the ground. So diapers for adults are not the same as children diapers. They're expensive. Maybe their size and everything.
Are they exempted now?
I don't know whether this budget took care of that. So that's an expense. Here, when you hear you need diapers, it's an expense and a half. Very, very expensive.
Of course, like it is not one per day you're using.
Yeah, it's not one per day. You'll have to use like a packet of 10 per 4 days.
And that packet is, I hand is like 1,000 shillings.
Yeah, like a packet, if you are lucky, they've gone up. Of late, they've gone to the supermarket ones. The supermarket, they are more expensive. They are like 1,500. But now we know where to get them. We have the different suppliers. So you get for 30, you'll get for 2,300.
That is for 1 week.
That is for 1 week. Because that's it.
So
that is not 2,000, maybe for a month if you are lucky.
Yeah.
But there's a friend of mine was telling me her helper is using, so she was a bit concerned. She's using 10 per day. 10 diapers per day.
So even if it is 2,300 per month for diaper, and remember, the allowance the Inua Jamii is giving the wazee, it is 2,000, and that's not even including medicine, eating, shelter, the diapers, the caregiver, all that is supposed to be.
No, the Inua Jamii will not, that is not one of the things that can even take. This will have to come from family members. You have to have liquid cash. And remember, this person, maybe they're the ones who have the land. They're the ones with the cows. They're the ones with the properties, basically. You can't liquidate them, yet you need cash. So you end up using your own cash, which you don't have. Because you have children in school, you remember your sandwich. You're taking care of your parent, and you're taking care of your children. So you are in between as a sandwich.
So generally, how does this affect you as a family? Because I heard you mention a husband or a wife, the children, the grandchildren, the little one who are being born. How does it affect you?
It affects you. It affects you very highly because you see, emotionally you'll be affected, financially you'll be affected, and if they are violent, physically, you could be beaten. Half the time you're beaten if they're violent. So it affects the whole...
They become distracted.
Yeah, and most of the time, dementia not being a disease for the elderly. Most of the majority are elderly. And they are grandparents and grandmothers. They are before the disease, they were very warm and kind and very loving to their grandchildren. Now they start here, one of the things that affects dementia is the noise. So then one of the people affected by is noise. Then the children, the grandchildren are there, making so much noise. So this grandmother has become such a colleague grandmother or grandfather. Tokeni, that is one. The kids are also, the grandchildren are also, this one, the doting grandmother they knew.
So they think
or the doting grandfather.
The grandma is becoming rude.
Maybe not loving, very mean to them. Get out, go. Because of the noise. Everything in the brain. You're affected by the noise. You're affected, your eyes are not seeing, your eyesight. You can't even smell, your ears. So
basically it affects everyone in the family.
It's a family disease.
It's a family disease.
It's a family disease.
Because you don't know when it's going to, you are told it's a terminal illness. You don't know if it is ending tomorrow.
Yeah, no.
After 10 years,
no.
after 20 years.
No.
Like you said, your mother was like almost 10 years or...
yeah, but it wasn't, we didn't even reach the point where it was, we were diapers and Mom was, unfortunately, by the time she was passing on,
take that long.
She was at the early stage of dementia.
Yeah.
The early, we still move around with her. We still go around with places. But when it progresses, it can even be more than 20 years. Wow. You have 20 years of the disease.
Wow. So generally the family was affected.
And
now, after your mom is gone, you started the organization.
I did not start this organization then.
You started the supporting groups.
The support groups, but unfortunately for the support groups, when somebody dies, you don't want to come back to a support group. You don't want to come and listen to the story of my mother did this, my mother got lost, my father got lost.
It's traumatizing.
They're traumatized. So you come and listen to the same stories. So what happened? The support groups that we had begun of 15 people, they fizzled out because their people are dying. They fizzled. It became small. Then quickly after that, I realized, now what do I do? What do I do? Another time I swapped myself into business. I was doing business. I had a clothes shop. And I didn't feel it. Dementia kept on calling me. the work of dementia kept on calling me. So Alzheimer's and Dementia Organization, EduK, was setting up the organization. I went there to volunteer. I volunteered for a few years, a few months, even the setting. They were kind enough to send me to Nigeria. I went to Nigeria for a conference, and there I lobbied. Well, there I lobbied for the African Regional Conference to come to Kenya. So in 2017, we had our African Conference of Dementia.
Congratulations.
And many people realized, wow, this thing is here. And you know, it was comforting people who are affected. Oh, there are people who are existing.
They are not only me.
Yeah, and then EduK, Alzheimer's and Dementia Kenya, led by Elizabeth Mutunga, there was the support group that keeps running. It's been running in like today in Nairobi. So there's people join the support groups, they are feeling helped and everything. Shortly after that, now is the time now, I got an opportunity through NCD Alliance to go to Geneva. And there I went to a workshop where I got the statistics that women are more affected by than men.
Yes.
And then at the time, this Women for Dementia Africa was born.
Wow. And now that you went for all these courses,
it was workshop,
yeah, it was workshop, the other conferences. Did you learn what ages get affected? Is it only over 60 and above?
No, it's not an aging disease. You have people who are 30 years old who have dementia, who can get dementia.
And you start seeing the same
symptoms. So you
symptoms.
can have younger onset.
And the symptoms are the same?
The symptoms are the same. The symptoms, you have people who are, and I see online a couple, I think they have a video, the husband got a dementia when he was 30, 32, and he's got a young family. So when it's brushed like it's an old people's disease, it's kind of like, it's a way to dismiss it. You know, everything that is catches, as you know, ageism.
Yeah.
Anything that is dismissed, when they say it's elderly or old persons,
and that's how they
dismiss it.
That's how they dismiss the older person.
They dismiss, meshika na hiyo gonjwa wa?
Yeah, was there. That's a discrimination.
That's a discrimination.
Yeah.
So
this is not an aging disease.
It's not an aging disease. It's a disease like any other disease.
Because even there are young people with mgonjwa of sukari, there are young people with hypertension. So it is a disease, and it is a disease for everybody.
And it needs to be, when you dismiss it, you don't do policies, you don't do planning with NHIF, you don't do nothing for it. Because you say it's an elderly, you and ugonjwa was
that's why when you dismiss older people with those kind of things in discrimination, then you end up having no policies for them that will protect them. Forgetting that aging starts from the day you are born. You are here today, tomorrow you're 1 year old, like that, like that, like that. Wow.
So that's when, then now around that time, when I was going to all this and I'm trying to set up this.
To learn what killed your mother?
I knew it.
You knew, but you wanted to know more.
Dementia did not kill mom.
Yeah.
Dementia never kills.
Yeah.
It's the other diseases that kill.
Related.
They are related, like now, how it was a stroke and a heart attack that took.
It's like the way there's no disease called HIV/AIDS.
Yes.
It is the other
opportunistic diseases
yes,
that come.
exactly.
Yeah, with dementia you can live happily until the time when the Lord
whatever
calls
happily is.
Yeah.
So
happily
then,
what happens with him, whatever it is.
So what happened next?
So shortly that dad started showing some signs of dementia.
Your father-in-law?
Nah, the husband. Remember the mzee who told us your mother has got Alzheimer's?
That is now like how many years later?
This is in 7 years ago is when. 7 years ago is the time.
No, I mean, like how many years?
7 years, we could say like 8 years.
The wife was how long with the dementia?
After the wife has died.
No, like it took how long? How many years before she died?
She took. Remember, we were diagnosed in 2003, and she died 2007.
So like 4 years.
4 years. But
so,
him it was
so
like
this
7.
is your father-in-law who was introducing the wife as having gotten a new disease that is incurable 4 years earlier, and now he's the one who has the symptoms.
No, yeah, but later on, after 7 years when she had passed on. 7 years had
So you
passed
could
on.
be talking about somebody today, 3 years to come with you.
Yeah, you never know.
So now you are the people now who saw the symptoms, not he.
Yeah, he's seen, but he keeps saying, my memory is not as sharp as it used to be. I think I need to go back to the university to study. And he actually wanted to go to do a master's to see whether it would wake up his
To sharpen
his memory. And we were saying, go for it, go for it, go for it, Mzee. And
how old was he then?
he was 85, 84 there. But he was very active and very healthy. He didn't have opportunistic disease. Mom, remember, she had blood pressure, and before she had a stroke. Earlier on, 84, before I was married.
Yeah.
But dad started having, he was healthy. He didn't have diabetes, very mild diabetes. He had no other NCDs, non-communicable
So your
diseases.
father-in-law, it cropped, the dementia came at around 80-something.
Yes.
But your mother-in-law, it is early 60s.
Yeah, maybe mid
Okay,
60s, yeah.
so then what happened?
So now we are seeing he's here living alone. We have a sister who is autistic. There are 2 people who need care. And what happens because of the visual that affects one of the things that affects you in dementia is visual. So he kept on falling, keep falling. It means a step you fall.
And of course,
it's a very common, if you've gone around with the elderly, it's a very common thing for the elderly. And when they fall, there's something that
breaking
affects.
their hips, breaking their legs.
Yeah, it's a very common thing when people. So we realized, we quickly thought through it with my husband, that it's high time I'm talking about dementia to other people. Why can't we, charity starts at home.
Yeah.
Why can't we move and take care of him? Wow. And I had to leave, explain to my 10-year-old daughter that we are going to stay in a house, from an apartment to a house, to a home, and she couldn't take it. You know, you have to change everything about your life. And so I've been caring for him. I've been caring for him with the knowledge, that I have.
Wow.
And that's been helpful. We've been able to put things in place. We are able to put a program for him. Dementia, when you have somebody, you have a program for the person. If they are able, now he's on assisted care completely. But when he was able to take his walks.
So Monica, when you say assisted care, there are some people out there who may not know the differences of care. You say assisted. What do you mean by assisted?
Where you are not done for everything. Everything is done for you.
You are being changed. You are being fed.
You are
being put in a wheelchair.
Yeah, you can't do anything for yourself. You can't do anything. So you have to be assisted 100%.
If you have like a long call, you sit on it until someone has to remove.
Yes.
So you must really be with people who care completely.
I have people who have hearts and utu. Because this thing is not at your experience of anything. You have to have that good heart. You have to have that heart from
passion,
special heart. Compassionate. It's not at any Tom, Dick and Harry.
Anyway, it's working for the older persons. Actually, it's a different kind of care. Even it's like taking care of a kid. Yeah. It's not everyone who like kids. You can imagine now. It's not everyone.
Yeah,
there are people when you can't stand even changing a kid.
Yes.
But we imagine now you are changing a 90-year-old.
Oh, yes.
And it is often changing them like kids, feeding them like a kid, and this carrying them to bed like a kid.
That is now what is called assisted.
Wow.
So, but before assisted, he was fine. The only thing, he didn't like you to meddle with him. He needed you to treat him like who he was. If he says he don't want to eat, don't force him to eat. If you don't want to come near visitors, if your visitors are coming, I would even tell you if you're visiting. He didn't want to see any visitors.
Now you are a full-time caregiver.
Yes.
Full-time caregiver.
Full-time caregiver.
For an older person.
An older person.
You have taken almost 15 years taking care of older persons.
I couldn't say I took care of Mom.
Taking care is not just you are there, of course.
Caregiver.
Yeah.
And I remember I ran away. I wasn't in her space.
She didn't even want that.
No, it's
you
me.
Were so afraid.
I was too guilty. I couldn't see this woman was fine.
She's my friend.
She's my friend. We used to go places with her. I couldn't drive those days. My mother used to take me to clinics with my babies. When I would,
That's must have been traumatizing.
Yeah, it was. The only way I could react to her was let me take off.
So this is something like a grieving process.
Yes.
People grieve differently, they heal differently, but the process has to go.
Yeah.
There are those who it takes longer.
Yeah.
Now, Monica, what can you tell other people out there who are taking about the experiences like the ones you've had? Maybe they don't even know what it is, but what would you tell them? A word of encouragement. Now that you are dealing with this, where is your organization? How do you get to the people now on the ground, Monica?
Okay, let me talk about Women for Dementia, because that is my passion and that is what.
And why did you call it Women for Dementia, not maybe men and women with dementia?
I told you women are most affected as dementia. They're the biggest caregivers and they're the ones who are most affected. So my job is to amplify their plight.
Yeah.
Remember the woman with the dementia, she's at the down and under.
Yeah.
So our job is to amplify her, but our work is not focused on women. Our work is to amplify the woman who is the caregiver and who is most affected.
But like you said, most of the caregivers that you've come across are women.
Women, even when I go out in the field. So Women for Dementia, we work there with the underprivileged. Remember, the middle class have no issues. They don't have the information. They have internet. The low income, the people who I work with, like the Kibera daycare, the Kibera daycare, I have worked with county trackers in Kayole and Bakassi area. That's where we have created support groups for them. We give them information. Mtu yako hajarogwa, ni ugonjwa. And there the poverty is high. Because remember, this person does work of ufua. And I told you it's a woman all the time. Does work of ufua and has to leave the dad in the house.
Is this a CBO or an NGO?
It's an NGO.
So which other parts of the country do you reach?
Right now I'm working in Nairobi. I'm hoping to partner with other people all over the country. Right now we are just based in Nairobi.
You're just in Nairobi.
Based in Nairobi, but we have other partners who have gone all over the country. Because what we've done is because as I said, dementia is a risk. The risk factor of dementia is older persons. So we work with older persons groups.
And out of your experience again, do you think this disease is increasing or it's the same, or how is it now?
Yeah, it's increasing. Globally, there's this slogan saying, tick, tick, tick. Every 3 seconds, somebody in the dementia, somebody's been diagnosed with dementia. Every 3 seconds. Second, somebody in the world is being diagnosed by dementia.
And of course, Kenya is in the world.
Yeah, it's in the world. It's not out of the world.
So do you think as a country, because of course Article 57 of the Constitution of Kenya says it is the responsibility of the government and the family to take care of older persons. May they have dementia or not dementia. Do you think our government is doing enough, Monica?
No. When they have had senior doctors, psychiatrists say that, oh, that is an older person's disease.
Oh my God.
The time when we would have, during COVID times, when we would have Zoom conferences or workshops. And then this particular famous doctor in the country says, oh, that is an elderly disease. So if this is a person who's supposed to advise the government,
or to advise the Kenyans.
If they're the ones, the Kenyans, and you're dismissing as an older person's disease, nothing will be done. But thank God, because through lobbying, through a lot of work with different players, currently I'm even sitting in a group, I'm sitting in a working group of drafting the dementia policy in Kenya. So at least like the way there's a cancer policy, we are hoping to have a dementia policy. Diabetes policy. We have all this policy, mental health policy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then the unfortunate thing for us as me being in space of dementia, I have to go everywhere. I have to go where there are older persons groups. Because
younger people.
I have to go to the mental health group.
Yeah.
To share our disease presents itself in a mental way, although it's a neurological disorder. But I have to go where there's a mental health group. I have to also go to NCD, non-communicable diseases. to go and speak there, so that to be able to stick out my neck, so that we are not forgotten. Because these are diseases that most times are forgotten. You were telling me about some people who are taking care of their loved ones with dementia. And I'll talk about the low-income people, the ones I work for. Those are the ones who are really challenged, difficulties. We have different programs as an organization. We have a dignity care parks, where we get donors and they support a home with care parks. The reason why we came up with this dignity care parks is because, look at this person. They are going to Kufua. They leave their loved one in the house, because this person, a very common thing of dementia, people wander and they get lost. You hear somebody amepotea. That is a common. So baada ya kupotea, they lock them. When they come in the evening, they find everything in the house has been messed up.
Or they lock them in the house?
Yeah, they messed up with incontinence in the house. So you're coming back from your kibarua from industrial area.
Ndio upate chakula.
Ukuja kwa nyumba, you have to clean up this person and you don't have water.
Na ulimfungia kwa nyumba the whole day.
Yeah, because what can you do? You can't let them wander. So first of all, you're stressed with the cleaning this person. Most of the time, there's no water. So we came up with this idea of, as an organization, we came up with dignity care parks. So we offer care parks to these people. Right now, it's halted because this year we've not managed to push very well, because we do it through fundraising. And then another thing which we also help as an organization, hygiene is one of the things that kills. Lack of poor hygiene is what kills these people. Most of the time, maybe a girl, as I said, women, the ones who care for their loved ones. Maybe their daughter caring for the father. Culturally, are you going to wash your father? You can't wash your father. So what do? You have to hire somebody. 100 bob is not an easy thing. So you have this program where we say, we give them, also under that dignity park, we give them 100, within that there's 100 bob we give towards this.
So how often does that dignity kit take?
We make sure
how often do you give it?
When we were giving it, when it was on, we were giving it, it was monthly.
But I'm sure because of this,
we were giving, the park it had 1 month's worth of diapers.
When you hand it?
Yeah, when it was in progress.
But now it's not.
And now it's not.
Because of an economic hard time.
And it's going to. We are hoping to revive it with time. We are looking.
How many were you giving?
The board of directors is looking for ways to
How
revive
many
it.
were you able to give per month?
We were giving per month a family 30 diapers.
Like how many families could you give?
We gave in Kayole.
Like how many people? I'm trying to imagine 40. The percent. You did 40, good, yes.
Unfortunately for us, when we went out to give out, free things are not the good things.
Yeah.
So we had people even who are cerebral, other people who are not living in dementia, but they had a need for diapers.
Yeah.
So we couldn't relate. So now we are going back to the drawing board to actually map out who are actually living dementia and need diapers. Those days we just gave them out like this. So we got people with cerebral palsy, we got people with cancer. So the program would not sustain the program.
You mixed yourself
up. Mixed ourselves.
You mentioned something very important, Monica, when you said some of these people who come from very, very poor backgrounds, and people have to go and find work and look for something to eat and feed the rest of the family. You have to lock someone in the house, or you tie them the whole day and come back to them to give them some food in the evening, if you are able to find something. And you're saying that is the majority of the people. Of course, they're in that bracket, because those are the people you're only talking in Nairobi.
Yeah.
We have 47 counties. There are those even who have never even heard of this word dementia, and they're out there. Monica, can you tell our government about this? Because I think we should be having institutions that at least to keep these people, so to have some people who can take care of, instead of tying someone who is having a problem, not that they would wish to be like that. Someone who was doing their own work, but all of a sudden things change. The next thing, because you must also sustain the rest of the members of the family or feed your children, you start tying your mother or your father in the house for you to, what would you, your parting shot to our government?
I'd encourage the government to have institutions where they can, even daycares, where you can have somebody leave their loved one before they go to work, And then in the evening, they come and pick the person. That person is fed. That person is taken care of. Then just like a daycare for children. And then you come and pick your loved one. Or if not, we have institutions. Institutions where we can have these people staying under they are cared for. And not abandoned, not mistreated like we've seen in different institutions in this country, where they are taken care of. That's what we'd like to in all counties, because all counties have elderly population, have people living in dementia, so that we can remove the burden of care from this family, which already burdened.
Thank you, Monica. And now, because you are a caregiver, outstanding one, who is all over known for the work you have done until you started thinking on how the other caregivers can help. What would you tell our caregivers out there? And also, how can you differentiate for them and show them caregiving, it's not about a maid. It's even your son can be your caregiver. Even a father can be a caregiver of their daughter or son. So those people there who do not even know how to take care of these people who have this disease, what would you tell them out of your experience?
I would encourage them. I encourage them, and good congratulations and good job. I salute you for doing this difficult and challenging job, which is it's a calling. So who is there, don't despair, and also learn to self-care, because you don't want to leave this one. If you don't self-care, you don't take care of yourself. If you have, I'm talking even for especially somebody like a daughter, a mother who is old, elderly, and you're taking care of your husband. Don't allow people to come in and help you. I'm talking to the mothers who care for their husbands, the wives who care for their husband. Yes, till death do your part, but let somebody help you care. Because this is many of the things when I go to the field, I hear a lady she has no life. She can't go to her chama, she can't go to church, because she's caring for this husband of hers. Self-care yourself. Go to church. Don't be lonely in the house, and don't be lonely in the caring. 24-hour care for this person will mentally drain you, and this can easily take you away and leave your loved one behind. Who will take care of them? So self-care. Take times off. Go and laugh with your girlfriends if you are a lady. If you are a daughter, make sure you have your me time. Go for a holiday, and you must take care of yourself. You must take care of it. But I salute you. I salute you for doing that noble job.
Kenyans, that is a message from Monica Kinyanjui, who is a caregiver, has taken care, and you have heard our story. And there are many more Monica Kinyanjui out there. Please, what we are saying, we are not just talking stories. We are here to educate, to give information, and to inspire others. If you're out there and you have not subscribed to this YouTube channel, where we have all this information, the best thing you can do to your loved one, to your friends, is to share this information so that they can hear. Kenyans, let us all stand for our older persons. My voice, your voice, our voices are the voices of the voiceless. So Monica, if one was our viewers would like to, to reach you out for more advice or information on dementia, where would they find you? In number?
Our number is 0722 60 14 13. That number is mine. To come to me and I'll advise you. The other one, we're on Facebook page, Women for Dementia Africa. We're also on Twitter, Dementia_women. And the rest, my social media people know. But once we are there, you'll get us.
As hashtag goes, sote tuwajibike, tutunze Wakongwe.